They try to punch denied that. Had love for black men, showed it in her life. But they cracked fat people in the streets. She never turned her back on. But she stood 10 toes through it all. Double standards in the room. Watch how fast they switch the tune. Yeah, Joe Budden, her best friend, took stand that day. Said she ain't self-hating, I didn't. Anyway, he was a character witness, knew that her heart was for. But where's that when his brother owns sister? Y'all don't tap your phones, no thread, no receipts. No, she didn't choose right. Just silence in the comments, just another candlelight. But let her be beautiful. Let her have a platform too, and date who she want. Now everybody got a view. Keep that same energy for every. But where's that same energy when that sister? Y'all don't tap your phones, no thread, no receipts. No, she didn't choose right. Just silence in the comments, just another candlelight. But let her be beautiful. Let her have a platform too, and date who she want. Now everybody got a view. Keep that same energy for every name we lose. Not just the ones you mad, cause they ain't choose you. They mad she got a platform, mad she crossed the line. Mad a black woman chose love and called it mine. But character don't change just cause the crowd gets loud. And truth don't bend just to fit into they crowd. She love being black. She love black men too. Your double standard showing now, what you gon' say? Yeah, she chose a European, that's the fact they repeat. But ask who she loved. She loved the people in the streets. Said it with her own mouth. I love being black. Had brothers, cousins, homies that she never turned her back. Character witnesses spoke, the ones who knew her best. Said her heart was for her people, put that to the test. But where's that same energy when the headlines close to home? When his brother owns sister, y'all don't tap your phones. No thread, no receipts, no, she didn't choose right. Just silence in the comments, just another candlelight. But let her be beautiful. Let her have a platform too, and date who she want. Now everybody got a view. Keep that same energy for every name we lose. Not just the ones you mad, cause they ain't choose you. Justice for number Ashley Janae. Tanzania, your secret will reveal. Cop motel security guards. You the joke. It's about the money. Black man, American. Done every line in there. You need a beat structure or a title. She chose life. Tanzania soil, strange things in the air. Black woman with a white husband building life there. But when the news broke, the comments got vile. Some men who looked like a set of death was her child. She left for peace, found her home overseas. Swahili in the morning, Kilimanjaro in the breeze. Hand in hand with the man that she chose. Not for a passport, not for the show, but the internet loud and the comments got wild. Should've stayed home, they said not deaths on your child. Like love got a border, like hearts got a rule. Like choosing different is choosing to lose. Since when we cheer for casket, since when we measure grief by who she attached. Pain ain't a punchline, death ain't a lesson. Nobody's love life should come with a weapon. She chose life, they chose hate. She deserved it like that, control fate. The numbers don't lie when you count all the cries. Her comes in all shades, so who gets to decide? She chose right, they chose blame. Turned the grave to a comment game. But love ain't a crime, and death ain't fair. So say your name right, cause the story's still here. Strange things in Tanzania, yeah, the rumors run deep. But strange things at home too, check the numbers we keep. Homes full of heartbreak, ain't got no color line. So pointing at her husband won't balance the crime. If we tally the pain, if we count every tear, we'll see that the danger was already here. So why back when the sister gone? Why call that justice? Since when a husband's passport determined who trust us. You don't gotta like who she loved. You don't gotta bless what she did. But dancing on her name cause she crossed seas, that ain't pride, that's just hit. If we want our women safe, we can't pick and choose. Keep more some and mock others when the headlines hit the news. She chose life, they chose hate. Right, she deserved it like that. Control fate. The numbers don't lie when you count all the cries. Her comes in all shades, so who gets to decide? She chose life, they chose blame. Hurt the grave to come and gain. But love ain't a crime and death ain't fair. So say your name right, cause the story's still here. Tanzanian took a body, but the comments were affected by her. Keep it real on the post.
Well, all right. Once again, putting it down for you and yours. This is another episode of The Lion's Den, the segment titled The Conversation Continues. And as always, you're listening to original music and sounds and thoughts and feelings of the one and only, the seventh answer, Lady Karima. You know, this is in reference to the memory of Miss Ashley Janae, also known as Ashley Robinson, the young lady who unfortunately met an untimely demise in Africa, Tanzania. You know, we covered and talked about her unfortunate demise and some of the circumstances that surrounded it. And, you know, where that case is ongoing and it's becoming quite evident her husband or her beau, her bae, had something to do with it. But, you know, I haven't been paying attention to that case like I should because there's so many other issues going on. But we're gonna revisit that discussion most definitely. As the seventh answer and myself, we see things bioptically. You know, bi meaning being able to see things in duality. Now, with all that being said, we welcome you to the Lion's Den. And, of course, when you come to the Lion's Den, you are, of course, now about to embark upon a powerful, direct, but subtle truth-reality listening experience and experiment. And, of course, the seventh answer, Lady Karima, Black Beauty Inc., also known as Dark Delight, because in the beginning was darkness, but out of darkness came the light. And the Lion's Den is the light of all lights, bringing forth illumination on issues that need revelation. And from city to city and state to state without no follow-up, bleep, bloops, or blunders. When you tune to the Lion's Den with the seventh answer, Lady Karima at the helm, oh, you're about to experience all types of miracles and wonders. Miracles and wonders. And whether you like it or not, believe it or not, or you want to deal like the late Aretha Franklin and Curtis Mayfield, the Lion's Den with Lady Karima, Black Beauty Inc., Dark Delight. Oh, she gonna give you something that you can feel. And again, like I said, that is a powerful, direct, and subtle truth-reality listening experience and experiment. And of course, there's the foundation, the four biblical pillars on which the Lion's Den has been constructed. And that is, of course, Isaiah, the 41st chapter at verse 21, because we always come ready to produce our cause. Whatever it is, the seventh answer and myself, Brother Dark Storm, whatever we're about to embark upon in all areas of discussion, we come ready with all our truth and evidence, which are verifiable at all times. We also come in the spirit of 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter at verse 21, which tells us to be ready, willing, and able to prove all things and hold fast to that which is good. And as we are strong advocates of freedom of speech, but responsible speech, we are governed by the fact that you must think before you speak. You must give careful consideration of what you say before you say it. Therefore, we go by Proverbs, the 13th chapter, at verse 3, which tells us all that he or that she that keepeth their mouth, keepeth their life. Because see, in the freedom of speech, there are some people who abuse speech. And you can say the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong soul and wind up getting yourself hurt. And of course, the fourth pillar, Joshua, first chapter at verse 7, which tells us to be strong and of good courage when we embark upon being harbingers of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the biblical truth in all of its various aspects of discussion. It takes a lot of heart to come here and do what we do, considering there are a lot of people out here who don't like the truth that we bring. It takes a lot of heart, but still we come with strength and good courage, and with the power of the Lord behind us, we give it to you straight with no chaser and no sermon. And of course, we come with the 8 eyes, and that's ingenuity, intelligence, integrity, inspiration, influence, independence, insight, and verifiable, provable, and viable information. And when you roll with the lion and the lioness, you are rolling with the pride. There is a thing called righteous pride, because we're always permanently ready in destroying evil, starting with our own. See, the seventh answer and myself, we don't walk around as Mr. and Mrs. Perfect. We don't come for anybody trying to point out their garbage, because we recognize we still have our frailties in being human. The flesh is a hell of a drug, but still we rise to our God self in both the masculine and feminine form, and like diamonds with a flaw, we chip away the flaw to bring about perfection. And of course, you know, the Lions Den, one of the many factions of the anti-coon movement. And what's a coon, you all? A complete, obedient, obvious, yes boss nigga. See, ain't no Stephen from Django, ain't no bed winching, none of that yes bossing, no scratching when we don't itch, and laughing when nothing's funny. Why? Because we can't be bought, and more importantly, we won't be sold. And of course, this is the homo point, counterpoint. Sometimes in the 95% that we agree upon, and maybe that 5%, that the seventh answer and myself, we might have to go jousting on the intellectual tip to come to the righteous conclusion on all issues, thus getting to that 100% perfection. But it's all love, you know, because it's okay at the start and end of every day to respect other people's opinions as long as they're relevant and intelligent. And of course, to all you haters out there, oh, we love when you come through. We love you being here as well. See, understand though, haters, we didn't like you yesterday, and we don't like you now, but we still welcome you because you inspire us to be on our job. But please be warned, the seventh answer in particular, in the spirit of Conan the Barbarian, he had the riddle of steel. She walks with the communication of steel. And what is the communication of steel in the Lion's Den? Oh, we're going to crush our enemies, show no mercy, and listen to the boo-hoo crying of all the trolls, kooks, and charlatans that get kicked up out of here if you come in here on some subversive and shenanigans energy. Please understand that. Because as Mike Tyson would say, how dare you come up in here with your primitive communication skills, which is as good as dead. So be warned. That might sound a little antisocial, but listen. As the good book in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter tells us, it's a time to love and it's a time to hate.
I'm gonna go ahead and go. Y'all have at it. But I'll holler at y'all next time.
All right. Well, stick around. I'm almost done with the introductions. Don't go nowhere. Okay? But the bottom line is, for all you haters out there, be warned. And I just laid it out. It's just that simple. And of course, if you have a problem with the truth, if you have a problem rolling with this machine, the seventh answer, myself, we always give you our deepest sympathies and empathies because we're not going to compromise for nobody. And last, but certainly not least, when you come into the Lion's Den, as the rules set forth by I Am Manner, please wipe your feet, mind your manners, conduct yourself in an orderly manner, and enjoy yourself. Because again, if you get out of line, that's when the lioness is going to come out. And she's going to break you down with the quickness, work you out with physical fitness, hit you with so many combinations, not even Jehovah will witness. And with all that being said, tonight, we're going to have an open discussion, okay? And for some of you out there, if you might want to come in and vibe, click, and politic with us, we welcome you. I'm going to, along with the seventh answer, we're going to go through a different myriad of videos and all type of talking points. I just want to, and some of these talking points can be, some of these videos can be a talking point all by their lonesome, all right? But if you want to, but if you have something on your mind that's relevant and intelligent, and you want to come to the Lion's Den and have a discussion about it, we're more than welcome. And we're more than laying that out for everybody and for anyone. Now the time. And so, look, a lot is going on. Yeah, a lot is happening. And once again, your president, the one and only, Donald J. Trump and company have had yet another third attempt at their being assassinated. Hold on for a second, you all. Yeah, a third attempt at his assassination. My. Now, we talked about this. We talked about, in a previous episode called Tick, 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 Boom, that you're going to start seeing a whole lot of issues and a lot of people out here with different sentiments. Now, listen, there are people out here who are saying it was staged, it was fake. That's not even our concern. The fact of the matter is that it happened. And in custody right now is a gentleman by the name of Cole Allen Thomas. That boy got 3 first names. But anyway, somehow this young man was able to penetrate the correspondence dinner that Donald J. Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance and company were attending and lick off shots, and he lived. But still, he was able to penetrate the security and cause a bit of a ruckus. So we got that we're going to talk about. We're going to look at that. We're going to examine that. Because again, it's quite evident, right? Whether staged or not. Let's just say that there are a lot of real dissenters and shooters out there. Okay? But, and the bottom line is, look, we're living in some dark and perilous time. We're living in a time where it's ugly out here, y'all. Now, none of us can pretend that we can't see that here we have a war that is still going on. That Iran war, believe me, it's still happening, and American soldiers are losing their lives. And we, the American people, are getting our teeth kicked in every way possible with all the cuts and mega cuts and more cuts to pay for this war. Where it's now rumored that the United States government is now looking to try to garner $1.5 trillion This is a rumor now. It hasn't been confirmed, but there've been talks. I'm listening at other, blogs and news outlets talking about the fact that a possible 1.5 trillion, which is astounding, to prepare for more possible excursions. Ladies and gentlemen, look. These morons have plunged us into World War III. Big money is being made, however, on this war. Make no mistakes. There are a lot of players out here who are making money off this war. But we aren't whatsoever. And if indeed this 1.5 or 1.3 trillion dollars is something that they are looking to embark upon trying to garner, you better believe more and more of the programs that a great many of us need, have earned, and are entitled to, or they're going to move the bar yet again to find a reason to cut, and more cuts. And then, not to mention, more jobs are going to be lost, more layoffs are coming, and a great many of you out there are already feeling the layoff monster. But we told you this was coming. We told you this was going to happen. Now, all we can do is talk about it, bring about the facts, the frequently accurate, correct truths about what's transpiring. But still, what we're also looking at, and what we're not going to pretend here in the Lions Den that we don't see, a potential civil war. No, I'm going to say uncivil war about to break. If this third attempt at assassinating or getting at Donald Trump was real, and the rest of the Republican bunch, if it were real, this just goes to show you, and it should be quite obvious, given how this young man was able to penetrate the supposed tight security and lick off shots and live. But the fact he was able to penetrate that security space, it goes to show you where we are headed and where we're at. Also, there are going to be other videos at random that we're going to pick and pick from and all that. But again, this is an open discussion. If some of you out there have other things on your mind and you want to be bold enough and brave enough to come here and introduce yourself and have a discussion about them, like I said, we are opening the gauntlet. Don't ever let it be said that we don't welcome anyone with who may have opposing points of views. Point, counterpoint. We welcome that as well. I'll be glad to interview and talk to a person who may have a differing point of view. There's some of you out there who may think that whenever you tune in here, we always come with the doom and the gloom, and we never bring about positivity. But let me ask you this. For anyone who thinks like that, for anyone who thinks that we need to come here with fluff and foolishness, please explain to me how telling the truth and calling a spade wrong. Please explain. I would like for you to come in here and talk to the Seventh Answer and and explain to us that if a pile of dookie poo is in front of us and somebody puts powdered sugar on it, we're supposed now to call that sweet. See, that's dumb. That's just plain dumb. And we don't do dumb here. But still, if doom and gloom, if things are if you have all these corrupt politicians who are now being proven to be people eaters, literally people eaters, child molesters, pedophiles, because see, despite all these, the war and the assassination attempts, There's some of us, we ain't gonna forget that Jeffrey Epstein file, man. We're not gonna forget that. Oh, we're not gonna forget that. We're not taking that off the table. We here in the Lion's Den, or we're not gonna be distracted. If we see moves that are being made right now, where certain people out here are poisoning our food continually. You have reports now of lab-grown chocolate, lab-grown meat, possible vaccinations being put in the meat. If it's real meat, it's hitting back to that old Wendy's commercial back in the 80s. Where's the beef? Indeed, where is the beef? What are we eating? It's got to the point I've taken certain things off my menu, my dietary intake, for the possibility I might be eating human flesh and don't know it. Could be eating squirrel and don't know it. You don't know. We have some maniacs, psychopaths and sociopaths who have entrenched themselves in all aspects of this government, and they are doing a horrendous job. See, the veil is now off on how America rocks, rolls, and runs. No, America's never been the land of the free. We're not free. Every single day, we see all types of maneuvers and executive orders that are being pushed and being made, where every right and privilege that we have enjoyed are being taken away. And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to be so bold in saying it. When you see white folk burning the American flag, having all kinds of conniptions and feelings of anger and dissent, more and more, to all my black folk out here and anybody else listening, you know what you need to be having. And to all my black folk who are on the delineation train, stay on that train. Do not come down. Do not come off it. Because now we're at the point, look, enough is past enough. The exodus and the divorce from this society is now in full effect. As a matter of fact, and to all my Spanish-speaking family out there, hey, yo, some of y'all need to get your act together. Because, you know, here we had Houston Police Department police officer Ashley Gomez. She went on a rant talking about how she hates niggers, you know, how she hates black folk. Hey, yo, you know, let me just say this, man. To all my Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban, Haitian, Cubans and Guatemalans and those who may tune in here, yo, what's up with some of your underbelly people, man? How you gonna come here? Why do y'all come here to America? Your whole economy destabilized not by black people, not by Moreno, Mayete, not by us, but all these big corporate white big boys who come into your country, destabilize your economy, kick you all in your teeth. But when you come here to America, you have the audacity and the unmitigated gall to want to come for black folk. Here she was, Ashley Gomez. I'm sure a great many of you now seen that video where she's ranting and raving. Me personally, now this is me just speaking off the cuff, the way she was ranting and raving about how she hates niggers and she hates blacks, I was thinking to myself, hey, yo, I wonder what black man she wanted and he ain't want her. Now, that's just me speaking. It's just one man's opinion and my intuition. I mean, I might be wrong. But the way she was ranting, it is something underlying. It might be that black man that she wanted, and he didn't want her. So now she hates niggers. But still, for some of y'all out there in the Latino community, what's up with this whole anti-black? And again, we're not the ones who broke your economy down. We're not the ones, ICE agents kicking in your doors, kicking you in your ass, breaking up your family, putting you in cages. That's not what we didn't do that to you. We're not doing that to you. But you want to come for us. Then you had some white woman, I won't even give her name no play, but still her video came out saying no matter how much you Latinos want to come here, be white adjacent, put down black folk, they MAGA, them homegrown, stone cold, mean country white individuals will never, ever accept you. See, I'm glad all this is coming out because I've had it up the head with all this anti-black sentiment coming from a lot of you out there. And see, like I said, many of you wouldn't be in this country were it not for Black American, Foundation of Black Americans getting water hosed, beaten, burned, lynched, or whatever else to get your ass hit. Now, normally I don't cuss, but I do apologize because every now and again, though I struggle to remain emotionally detached when I go into the discussions, it's certain things that just that stick into my craw. And all this coming from Foundation of Black Americans, this energy from some of you out there in the Spanish-speaking community is sickening now. And for all those out there in Houston, listen, to Ashley Gomez, I saw your tearful plea of forgiving. Man, keep that, please. Keep it. Keep that. We don't want to hear that. Those of us who have good sense in the Black community, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. And anybody that want to come with a sob story and plead her case, keep that. We don't want to hear it. She meant everything she said. And that means that every case she ever worked on needs to be, when it comes to Black arrest, they definitely need to reopen and re-examine every arrest she facilitated. And she needs to be fired and her certification taken. For some of you out there in the Latino community, if this shoe fits your foot, take it off. But we in the Black community, we tired of that. We tired of all this, giving lip to us, and we're not the ones beating you in the head and kicking your eyes out through your ass like ICE is doing right now. You ain't got no smoke for them, no. You ain't got no smoke for them. All that, I will vote for Donald Trump and all that. That's not us. We didn't do that to you. So enough is past enough. But to my Latino brothers and sisters out there who do hold it down and understand the realities, don't take offense to what I'm saying. But what you need to do is start checking the underbelly and the races among your folk who come with that ridiculousness. And that's why the delineation is happening. Enough is past enough. And again, if somebody feels any kind of way about what I'm saying, please come on in. Let's talk about it. Because I'm curious. Boy, she just went all kinds of the end. And then she was gravitating between speaking ebonically, and then going into, first of all, you got niggas out here, they be doing this and the third, and then, but I hate niggers. Like, it's just, I noticed that dichotomy in her present and what she was saying in her rant. But clearly, she's not the only one who feels that way within the Latino community. We've seen a lot of different, incidents where, you got certain people within the Latin community who come from Foundation of Black America and attack us, MS-13 and other gangs, Latin gangs who were attacking Black folk a few years back until that got neutralized and stopped. Here in my neck of the woods, you had a group who called themselves Dominicans Don't Play, who tried to come down on some brothers, and the next day, all up in the South Bronx and in other points, brothers came out strong and said, yo, chill with that. We ain't the ones whooping your ass. We ain't the ones beating you down. If you got this me no black sentiment, you can have that. But all that trying to come for Black folk and we ain't the ones putting hands and feet on you, that's going to stop. So now, open discussion. We're now going to go into this whole issue with the attempt on the life of your president, Donald John Trump. So with that, without further ado, open discussion, the Lion's Den. The conversation continues. Seventh answer, take it away. Take it away. Let's go to work.
They have like two random chicks holding the front door open. We're not even trying anymore. It's not even like, I just mean like they're not even like Secret Service people. It's like the girls who work here are holding the door. Even if it was the guys, it wouldn't even make it better. It's like she's fine. Just like they might as well put a doorstop in. Like, they put up a doorstop and a scarecrow. Don't fuck with this guy.
I was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Like the rest of the attendees, I did not have to show any ID when entering the Washington Hilton, and I only passed through a metal detector once at a security checkpoint. A short while later, the suspect in the shooting, Cole Thomas Allen, sprinted through in an attempt to get to the ballroom. Inside was President Trump, top cabinet officials, and over 2,000 others. Those of us in the room hid under tables and sought cover when we heard gunshots through the ballroom doors. Minutes later, federal agents swarmed the room to escort officials. Just next to me, FBI Director Kash Patel and his girlfriend were pulled to safety by an armed guard. The White House says the security worked, but officials are expected to meet this week to discuss security protocols, and Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said changes are possible. But with big events such as the World Cup and America 250 celebrations just around the corner, many will be wondering whether enough is being done to keep the president and other officials safe.
I was performing right then for the president, the press secretary, and the first lady. It's kind of like a pivotal moment in the trick where you're just about to do the reveal of like, wow. And we hear commotion. I see everyone swarming one table. I didn't hear any shots or see what looked like a shooter. I thought there was about to be a bomb. Like I really very much thought, oh my God, it's about to explode. Because of the way that it was being approached, it was incredibly surreal. I kind of get down on all fours facing left, stage left. They rush across to get POTUS, and the president gets like taken down by Secret Service, and we don't know what's going on. And he came down. You can look at the video. I don't know the distance, but less than a foot away from me. I'll never forget the image for my whole life because I'm on all fours, turned like this. They bring the president down directly in front of me, and we just look at each other for about 2 seconds. And my mind, obviously, this is like a huge adrenaline. It's just like, oh no, are we about to die? Because I thought it was about to explode. I thought that was really my instinct. Then I heard what sounded like I thought were shots. So at that point, my mind shifted. I also wasn't sure if he was hurt. They pick him up kind of, and they go out, and then we're on all fours. And I see Courtney and I see one or two of the other people that are at the dais, and we're like, are they shooting? Like, we don't know what's going on. So I don't want to get up. So we army crawl. She went first, and the rest of us army crawl out because we didn't want to stand up because I don't want to get hit. I thought there might be somebody still shooting.
What happened?
They're trying to identify it now.
Where was the shooter?
Somewhere out there.
In the lobby? In the lobby? We didn't know at first, but then we heard from our own security that they heard shots fired. And now we do have Secret Service telling us, obviously I want to know this is only one Secret Service member, but a member of security is here telling us that there is a shooter. And now we are kind of basically locked inside the ballroom. But basically they were saying everyone's okay. They have not identified the shooter yet, but obviously it shows you this was not some kind of false threat, that obviously something had happened and they rushed the entire administration off stage. You know, at the beginning of the dinner, everyone's just kind of seated, having their meal. And within moments, armed Secret Service is running in with massive guns. I mean, maybe dozens. And a silence just went over the room as they ran in. Everyone ducked, got on the floor. People were underneath tables. No one knew what was going on. And for a second, the president actually was not evacuated off stage. I looked, he was sitting still right there. A Secret Service was coming in and down the hallway.
The wheelchair brakes tend to lock the wheels, but don't actually lock the chair to the ground.
Cole Allen, a 31-year-old Caltech engineering graduate and college prep tutor, now in custody, accused of opening fire at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. ABC News quoting sources that say Allen sent a message describing himself as, quote, a friendly federal assassin. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche saying it does appear that Allen was targeting people in the Trump administration, including the president. And an Eyewitness News exclusive, we interviewed a man who appeared to be Allen when he was a student at Caltech.
The idea with this is to prevent it from moving at all.
We found him at an aging conference. He had designed a new way to make wheelchairs safer.
The wheelchair brakes tend to lock the wheels, but don't actually lock the chair to the ground.
That was back in 2017. Today, according to his LinkedIn profile, Allen was working for C2 Education, a private company that prepares students for college entrance exams. That profile claiming C2 actually named him its Teacher of the Month in December 2024. In a written statement, the company today saying, we were shocked to hear the news of the horrifying incident that transpired at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We are cooperating fully with law enforcement to assist them in their investigation. Violence of any kind is never the answer. Allen describes himself online as developing this video game called Boredom, what he calls an atomic fighting game. On the gaming platform Steam, one of the popular tags used to find it was Bullet Hell. Another was Shooter.
Why was J.D. Vance escorted first by the Secret Service instead of Donald Trump during the attack? No one has realized these three details suggest it may have been rehearsed in advance. Just yesterday, an attack occurred while Donald Trump was hosting the White House Correspondents' Association dinner. However, netizens noticed that J.D. Vance was quickly escorted off the stage. Back was completely operate each other, leading many to suspect that this sudden attack
Taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly. I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. I want to thank the First Lady that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now, put out on Truth and put out on many other platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person.
Why was JD Vance
There are new signs this morning that attack could have been much worse. Cole Allen faces multiple charges, including the attempted assassination of President Trump. Surveillance video shows the suspect sprinting toward the ballroom. You see it right there. Court documents reveal that the suspect was not tackled by security, as we previously believed.
Make no mistake, this was an attempted assassination of the President of the United States.
2 days after suspected gunman Cole Allen allegedly sprinted towards that packed ballroom, federal prosecutors Monday unveiled 3 charges against him: 2 firearms-related charges and an attempt to assassinate the President of the United States. A federal affidavit cited a document he allegedly emailed to family just minutes before the shooting titled Apology and Explanation, expressing intent to target administration officials prioritized from highest ranking to lowest. The Justice Department also released these images of the weapons the suspect allegedly had strapped on him the night of the White House Correspondents' Dinner: a shotgun, a pistol, and a variety of knives.
One Secret Service officer was shot in the chest, but was wearing a ballistic vest that worked. This heroic officer who was hit fired 5 times at Allen, who was not shot, but fell to the ground and was promptly arrested.
I don't know what happened. He was running. I heard bang, 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 and he fell right at my feet.
Right at your feet?
Right at my feet. I would not have had to take a step forward to touch him. I could have just bent down to touch him.
Air Force veteran Erin Thielman had just stepped out of the ballroom to call her son as the suspect made a beeline for the event. Then she sprang into action.
You said you ran downstairs.
I ran downstairs.
And what did you see about these doors?
The doors were wide open, and I was very concerned because we had the line of succession for our country in the ballroom, and I didn't know what they knew.
As the Justice Department continues to investigate and parse the suspect's past, in his hometown of Torrance, California, CBS News spoke to one woman who asked that we not show her face, but said that Allen had tutored her 11-year-old daughter as recently as a couple of months ago.
He was, all I could tell was he was really shy into himself. So it was very surprising to hear.
The Department of Justice says there are still multiple unknowns. Who shot that Secret Service officer? Was it the suspect or perhaps friendly fire? How did he get so close inside that perimeter? There's still questions about the timeline, but one thing the DOJ says is clear is the intent of the suspect to target the president. Now, he has a hearing next month, could face like.
Yeah, we're back. And You're now tuned to the Lion's Den, the segment title, The Conversation Continues. This is an open discussion where if you want to come here on the panel and have a discussion, talk about this issue here or something else that's relevant and intelligent, please do so. We welcome it. But now, here's a question that we in the Lion's Den are going to ask. What would make an apparently highly educated and accomplished young man, relatively young man, take it upon himself to attempt the blitzkrieg, putting his own life at risk, mind you, because, you know, in order to get butt, you got to bring it. But he brought it, was able to get through a perimeter of security where he wasn't gunned down. But what will make this young man, who's an accomplished, apparently accomplished, an inventive young man, what would make him try to bring about the demise of not only the President of the United States of America, but the First Lady? And then here you had the Vice President on deck. All right. So Melania Trump, J.D. Vance, and everyone else who was on the dais at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. An event that normally Donald Trump has not been known to attend. But what will make this young man try and apparently ruin the rest of his natural life to bring about the death of the president and anyone else he could have, gotten access to? That's the burning question that we hear on the Lion's Den. That's what we are wondering. Again, an accomplished, educated, and apparently giving, because he was a tutor in his spare time. But what would drive this young man to be the third person to try to attempt to cut down, again, Donald J. Trump and company? That's something you have to really take under careful consideration. Now, we here in the Lion's Den, of course, are asking a rhetorical question. See, we're not going to pretend that this unjust war with Iran, the continual cuts, and all these other things that they're doing here in America to give money to Israel, Argentina, and everybody else, while hardworking Americans across every racial divide continue to suffer, starve, and get pushed out of their homes. Because we have a lot of crooked shenanigans that have been transpiring ever since Donald J. Trump regained the presidency of these United States. So what would drive this young man to do that? And will there be more attempts? Because if it was that easy for him to penetrate the security checkpoints, imagine if you have someone who's trained. Imagine if you have someone who is former military, knows the ins and the outs and ins on weapons and tactics and maneuvers. If they get the notion to want to bring heat, the Mockingbird type syndrome, if you want to call it, I think that's, if I'm saying it correctly, that the seventh answer put me up on. I'm just saying we're obviously living in some very perilous and dangerous times. And again, but this is what happens when you continue to have psychopaths and sociopaths who've entrenched themselves into all aspects of the government, making all these unjust and unrighteous decisions. The pushback is inevitable, and now it is being shown. Now we here on the Lion's Den, we're going to always put out a disclaimer and let it be known that we do not support, we do not advocate any kind of subversive, seditious actions. We do not condone the unjust and indiscriminate attempted murders or murders of individuals. We don't condone that here. However, what we're not going to do is pretend that we don't understand the social climate that we're now living in. It's been building for a very long time. And now, tick, 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 boom, the explosion is here. We're not going to pretend that we don't understand that this unjust rulership and government, pedophile, people eaters, and God knows whatever else they're into, demons walking with earthly feet, making these continual unjust laws, and all this tyrannical and dictatorial maneuverings are not going to have a great many people now snapping and losing it and bringing heat and voicing their dissent on much more aggressive levels. All right? So we're already in our first hour. Let me see who's talking, and we're going to come right back. Let's see who's talking right now. Tawana Johnson says, he may have been denied health care of some sort. That may be it. That may be. There are a lot of people who have had their, funding and their health care cut because they continue to move the goalpost and say, oh, you're a few dollars over what we say you should be making, so therefore you're not qualified. He may have. In his manifesto, as a matter of fact, Ms. Johnson, in his manifesto, he made mention of his dissent and his feelings about the continual maneuverings of the government, the unjust cost of this war, wherein a great many Americans have had their teeth kicked in, and he's not happy with a number of other things that we all see happening on an everyday basis. So you may be right. He may have been denied his health care because clearly he has to have some serious mental issues and was a ticking time bomb if he decided to ruin his whole life to go in and attempt to destruct and destroy the president and anyone else he would have been able to get access to had he been able to break that primary perimeter to get to the ballroom where they all were sitting in. But time will tell as the story progresses on this issue on what he may have lost or he may have seen. And his manifesto does say, hint towards his being unhappy with the direction that this administration has taken us in. But I have to say, with a right wing, left wing, Kentucky Fried Chicken wing, this whole bird is now foul. And now we're living at a time where, again, aggressive actions and reactions are now going to take place. It's already happening in India, Kazakhstan. We see things breaking out in different areas and sections of Africa, Australia, New Zealand. So it's quite obvious, evidently, it was only a matter of time before you start to see people here in America would get angry enough and now are snapping. Let's see who's talking. Yeah, it is crazy how he got there. That's my point. Thank you. It is crazy how he was able to penetrate that particular checkpoint, zip and run past the agents that were there in that lobby, where one of the agents, they say, either got shot by friendly fire, which I hate that term. I don't care who shoots me, whether it be friend or foe. That's not friendly. Friendly fire, please. You're right. It is crazy how he was able to penetrate those checkpoints. And that's my point. And that's what I'm saying. Now imagine if going forward we have military trained, ex-military, who've had their benefits cut, because believe me, I sit as a veteran and believe, oh my God, the VA, they hitting the VA as well. I gotta fight for every dollar I get now with these critters. Pete Hegseth and company for the Department of War. Boy, they waging war on we the people. So I agree, it is crazy how he even was able to penetrate the checkpoints. And then it's even more crazy that here it is, historically, as many people observe, Donald J. Trump doesn't even normally attend these White House Correspondents' Dinners. He's never attended. And here it is, the first time he actually attends and sits down. Here you have a one lone attempted assassin make the move to try to put him in the dirt. And again, this young man is educated, quite accomplished. So what is stopping someone who may be ex-military, much more tactical and skilled? If it's that easy for this civilian, and I'm going to assume he's not serving in the military, and apparently he's not a part of any group of any kind. If he was able to do that, then imagine what someone who is trained. Or could this be the prelude? All right, this action here could now be a prelude that they can use. When I say they, the government and those who are now looking to expand, quiet as kept, the powers of the United States Homeland Security under the DESA, the Defense Enhancement Security Act, the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, excuse me. You have the LWT, Lone Wolf Terrorist Bill. All right. It could be a ploy to expand the powers of those bills through other executive orders, because it's also now on the table. They want to expand the powers of ICE. So this might be a play, an elaborate play, an elaborate theater of war for a more bigger and sinister purpose. is just a thought. And if you want to come up here on the panel and have this discussion and voice your opinion and your thoughts and your observations, the link is out there. Come on in. Let me see who's talking. Yeah, that's right, Miss Johnson. 2 of his events have had security breaches. When he did sustain a shot in the ear, and this one, and that's what's crazy. Even that was crazy. When there were individuals reporting that they saw this young man in that particular instance climbing the granary to eventually launch a shot against Donald J. Trump, and then you say, hey, John Fitzgerald Kennedy got shot from a block away, damn near. I don't think they're really wanting to unalive him. You know something? You are hitting nothing but home runs, Miss Johnson. Because I didn't want to say it. I wanted to be careful. But since you said that, I got to say this here. I have noticed that in this time frame, even the quality of assassins, and it's no laughing matter, but even the quality of assassins have deteriorated. You're right. Here it is, according to the official story, when it comes to John Fitzgerald Kennedy, he had Lee Harvey Oswald use a .38 long, all right, a .38 long shotgun, all right, revolving action shotgun, all right, I'm going to add. He was a former Marine, and he picked off John F. Kennedy where he hit him in the back of the head and his freaking chest. In a moving car, mind you. And only John F. Kennedy got hit. He didn't hit Jackie Kennedy Jackie Kennedy, nor the drivers. The driver of the car and the agent who was in the front seat as well. He only hit John Fitzgerald Kennedy, skilled marksman. In the case of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., that particular assassin was able to hit him from a distance, like, you know, and he was so accurate, he cut the tie Mr. King was wearing in half as he unloaded the unfortunate lead sleeping pills into Mr. King's body. Then those who hit Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, Charles Hampton, and little Bobby Hutton and all other members of the Black Panther Party who got hit in that time. These were all skilled marksmen. The killer of Robert Francis Kennedy, Sirhan Sirhan. Skilled marksman when you look at his background. So yeah, I'm gonna say you used the word. Let me read your comment. You said again, JFK got shot from a block away, damn near. I don't think there is the operative word in your observation, Ms. Johnson. I don't think they're really wanting to unalive him. The question would be, who's the there? Who are they? There. That's a powerful operative word in your sentiment. Yeah, I don't think the certain powers and forces that be want DJT out the way. I think this is much more going to definitely infringe upon the Second Amendment of this Constitution. And we're going to probably be hearing the expansion again of the Defense Enhancement Security Act, the National Defense Authorization Act, and the Lone Wolf Terrorist Bill. If any of you have never taken time out to read these bills and legislation, I advise you to read it and check it out for yourself. That's my homework assignment along with the seventh answer. We're giving you a homework assignment. This may be indeed a prelude to expand those powers and start knocking this Second Amendment out the box. Because at the same time this took place, there's again talk on the table of expanding the powers and jurisdiction of ICE. And that's not a good thing. It is definitely not a good thing. Because as the voices of dissent continue to grow here in this country, don't think for a second that these people don't understand that a great many people out here are going to snap and go ballistic and come raising the ruckus. It's been biblically ordained, but see, like I said, we don't give a sermon here. Here, we don't give a sermon. We just are able to talk about the Bible without referencing the Bible. We're ambidextrous in being able to talk to any and everybody. So here we go. We're going to continue on as the conversation continues, and take it away, seventh answer. Open forum, open discussion, you all. Again, if you want to come here and talk to us, I'm going to keep extending that invitation as the conversation continues. All right, seventh answer, let's go to work.
Nomai Harimai, welcome to 3 News. Investigators are combing through a manifesto sent by the man accused of opening fire at a dinner attended by the US president in Washington last night. The suspect's writing clearly stated he wanted to target administration officials, with Donald Trump today lashing out when asked about the gunman's motives. This photograph captures the moment the president and his cabinet gathered to assess the footage of the man who sought to kill them.
I mean, he ran like, I think the NFL should sign him up. He was fast. When you look at it on tape, it's almost like a blur.
The whole night was a blur for many in attendance. The White House Correspondents' Dinner, an event dedicated to celebrating a free press, descending into mayhem. The harrowing experience tempering a typically fraught relationship between Donald Trump and the media, and leading the president to agree to a 60 Minutes interview just a day later.
I was really happy to see the I don't know how long it'll last, the relationship, the friendship, the spirit after a very bad event took place.
It didn't last long. The gunman had emailed a manifesto to his family minutes before the attack, calling himself the friendly federal assassin. In it, Cole Thomas Allen listed his targets, with Trump administration officials at the top, and wrote that he does not expect forgiveness.
And he also wrote this: "I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes." What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he
wow.
did like that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile.
Wow.
I read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. You should be ashamed of yourself reading that, because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
I was
these are the
never,
gunman's
excuse me,
words.
What is wrong with this nigga?
you shouldn't be reading that in Grace, but go ahead, let's finish the interview.
As authorities comb through the manifesto, trying to understand what led the 31-year-old from a respected teacher to a would-be assassin, the FBI have been searching a property in California where neighbors have described a quiet man who kept to himself.
The parents I'm friends with, I'm friends with dad. They're very solid, peaceful, good people in the community.
It was his siblings who received the manifesto and reported it to police. Their brother, currently under evaluation in hospital, is not cooperating with authorities, but is due to appear in court tomorrow, charged with 2 counts of using a firearm and 1 count of assault on a federal officer using a dangerous weapon.
What we believe happened, at least as of now, is that the suspect traveled by train from Los Angeles to Chicago and then Chicago to Washington, D.C., where he checked into the hotel where the Correspondence Center was at in the last day or two.
It's understood he used the days prior to the dinner to survey the venue, writing in the manifesto that he was shocked at
This level of incompetence is insane. Sir, you have already had 2
Well, he was
attempted
pretty incompetent too, because he got caught, and he got caught pretty easily.
Even still, Trump has been quick to use the shooting as justification for the $400 million White House ballroom he has been pushing for. Washington, D.C. deemed safe enough in the meantime, though, to welcome another VIP, King Charles and the Queen, due for a state visit tomorrow, which once upon a time would have been the biggest story in town this.
Okay, we're back. Man, what is wrong with this fool? All right. First off, I wish that his speechwriters and someone would sit him down and coach him. First of all, the whole issue of he like the NFL should sign him. Like that was dumb. And then he attacks a reporter because she's reading the manifesto of what the guy wrote. She didn't call him those names. He attacking her. Like what the I know what's wrong with him. But he has no couth. I thought George W. Bush was dumb. This guy's dumb. All right, and I used to at one time like Donald Trump. I can admit that in his first administration, my 401k and some of my other financial portfolio looking real good when he was at the helm. But this now because he under Israel's control and Jeffrey Epstein, this guy, he done just dumbed out. He don't think before he speaks. And this is why you always hear, brothers and sisters, when you hear the 7th answer, and I say freedom of speech, but responsible speech. The law, the ethic that governs free speech is indeed think before you speak and give careful consideration to what you say before you say it. He just attacked the reporter because she read what Cole Allen Thomas wrote in his manifesto about what he thinks about the president, not what she thinks. She was supposed to read and let it be known the motivations. Come on, man. Anyway, let's see who's talking. Because some of you are out here talking tonight. Yo, Tom, Miss Johnson, you are killing it tonight. First you say, it's crazy that it's Americans who keep doing it as well, as far as the attempted hits. So he's going to invite a king and his wife the next day. You can't make this up. I know, right? Now I can understand why it's Americans trying to hit him and get at him. because Israel, he paying them real swell. Argentina is getting paid real swell. And some of the other foreign governments and agents that America's paying on the low, they, Bosnia, I think it is, Croatia, no, Ukraine is getting paid still after Joe Biden. They still getting paid real swell. So some of these foreign governments, maybe with the exception of Iran, they don't got no reason or motivation to want to hit the DJT. But a lot of people here in America losing their Medicaid, their Medicare, losing there's unjustly their SNAP and EBT benefits and all that. Yeah, they got a lot of reasons. All the MAGA who voted him in and he gave them their butts to his orange butt to kiss, they have a lot of reasons to want to try to bring the smoke and the brimstone to the DJT. But let's keep the energy going with more proof and evidence to support our positions. Seventh answer, take it away. Let's go to work.
You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead. Let's finish the interview.
President Donald Trump called CBS News' Norah O'Donnell a disgrace during a 60 Minutes interview Sunday after she read out parts of the alleged gunman from the White House Correspondents Association dinner's note he sent to family members before the attack, which was provided to NBC News by a senior White House official. In the interview, O'Donnell asks Trump what his reaction to the suspect, identified by a federal official familiar with the case as 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen, writing what appeared to be his motives for the attack on Saturday, April 25th, leading to a testy exchange between Trump and the broadcast journalist.
And he also wrote this: I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and I read the manifesto, as a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
ashamed for what?
You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes.
No, you boxhead idiot. She's supposed to read it.
Finish the interview.
He wrote, it was held, describing it as incompetent.
The other thing in the manifesto that I think is looking at in terms of determining his motive is he had been staying at the hotel since Friday. He checked in, he said he had cased the place, and he wrote, "What the hell is the Secret Service doing?" And he wrote this quote: "I expected security cameras at every bend, bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out the wazoo. What I got is nothing." He wrote, like, this level of incompetence is insane. Sir, you have already had two
Well, he was
attempted
pretty incompetent too because he got caught, and he got caught pretty easily. So I'd say he was pretty incompetent too. I could take any event having to do with security or anything else. I can always find fault, no matter what. I could take a baseball team that won the game 18-0 and say they should have played better. Those guys did a good job.
Oh, God.
They did a really good job. Now, do they make adjustments? They do. They learn. They make adjustments. We're living in a different world with the internet than we had years ago. But even years ago, it was very dangerous. I mean, just ask Honest Abe Lincoln. Pretty dangerous. And But we are living a very, the internet, I think maybe more than anything else, it's radicalized some people. It's made people mentally sick. It's also a great thing. It's a phenomenal thing. With a leader in it, with a leader in AI, it's a great thing, but you'll always find problems. But it's a different age. It's a very different time.
In another moment from Sunday's interview, Trump said that he wanted to observe what was happening, which led to his delayed exit from the ballroom.
Well, what happened is it was a little bit me. I wanted to see what was happening, and I wasn't making it that easy for him. I wanted to see what was going on. And by that time, we started to realize maybe it was a bad problem, different kind of a problem, bad one, and different than what would be normal noise from a ballroom, which you hear all the time. And I was surrounded by great people, and I probably made them act a little bit more slow. They said, wait a minute, let me see, wait a minute. So, I'm telling guys.
Just at that moment where it looks like you go sort of down with the service,
Well,
you were
they
telling
asked
them
me-
to wait?
Well, I know what happened is then I started walking with them. I started walking, and they said, please go down on the floor. So I went down, and First Lady went down also, but we were asked to go down by the agents as I was walking. In other words,
They
I was-
wanted you almost to
I
crawl
was
out.
standing up, pretty much.
You want salad and bread.
So what you gonna do? You're gonna take your favorite.
Additionally shared that he was in a conversation with Oz Perlman, who was guessing Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt's expected baby's name when the shots first rang, adding that he wasn't sure if the sound was gunfire or a tray of dishes. He also praised how his wife and First Lady Melania Trump handled the incident, but refrained from sharing if she was scared.
Right after that, we heard a big bang, and it was either a gunshot or it was a tray of dishes, which happens a lot in ballrooms. And I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't.
You mentioned the First Lady. Her face, she looked very alarmed. Was she
was.
scared?
Well, I don't want to say, and people don't like having it said that they were scared, but certainly, I mean, who wouldn't be when you have a situation like that? By that time, I think she realized ahead of time that that was more of a bullet than it was a tray. And she was, I looked at her face just a little while ago before I came. I saw the scene. They played it for me in, pretty good close up. And she looked.
At one point, Trump referenced the alleged gunman's speed, saying that the NFL should, quote, sign him up.
I can only say that from the moment they realized that he was, he ran like, I think the NFL should sign him up. He was fast. When you look at it on tape, it's almost like a blur.
Right.
But it was amazing because as soon as they saw that, you could see them draw their guns. They were so professional, aimed their guns, and then they took them down immediately. The doors were sealed, the room was sealed, the ballroom itself, where the people were. And they really, I think they did a great job.
On Saturday, April 25th, Allen, who reportedly displayed anti-Trump sentiments in his writings sent to family members ahead of the attack, according to senior administration officials, allegedly opened fire outside the White House Correspondents Association dinner. Authorities said the 31-year-old engineer and teacher was armed with a shotgun, handgun, and knives, and had checked into the hotel where the event was being held in the last day or two. After exchanging fire with law enforcement, the Caltech graduate was tackled to the ground and subdued. He is expected to make his first court appearance on Monday, April 27th. Meanwhile, Trump expressed his hopes for the event to be rescheduled in the next 30 days.
Well, I know the White House Correspondents Association very much appreciates you going last night and honoring a commitment to do it
I hope
again.
we're going to do it again. Nora, tell him to get it going, and we should do it within 30 days, and they'll have even more security, and they'll have bigger perimeter security. It'll be fine, but tell them to do it again. We can't let something be, it's not that I want to go. I'm very busy. I don't need that. I think it's very important that they do it again.
And we're back. And yeah, this guy's a boxhead. And kudos to Nora, the reporter there, for keeping her composure when he was doing all the name calling. I'd have lost it. I'd have gave it to him. All right, because I'm going with a bullet. I'd have said, listen, sir, what I'm doing is reading his words. And like you said, Ms. Johnson, he didn't, that in that manifesto, he did not call Donald J. Trump by name, but let's not forget the old adage that says a hit dog always hollers. Attacking and lashing out at her, doing her job, and being objective and reading not her words, but the words of the attempted assassin. What he should have said, that's Donald J. Trump, he should have just said, well, it's unfortunate that he feels that way about me, never met me, doesn't know me personally, has never sat down with me in any way, shape, or form. Yes, my association with Jeffrey Epstein and a few others had, may have people think what they think, but listen, he doesn't know me. But calling her a disgrace, and I'm like, that just shows you how uncouth he is. And in the whole, maybe the NFL should have signed him up. Anyway, you get the idea, y'all. This is the incompetency that we're dealing with in the presidency. You said that man is lucky to be alive. You know something? I have to agree with you on that. Here it is. First of all, I was shocked that here we had a mixed race. The gentleman, his father, that Mr. Allen's father, Mr. Thomas's father is black, his mother's white, but he looked black. He got those Negro features, and here it is. We get gunned down unarmed more than we do being armed in many unfortunate events. And this guy was able to zip past a perimeter checkpoint, a very weak perimeter checkpoint, and he didn't get sliced to ribbons. You're right. That's a whole lot of luck. God bless him, whatever that was with him, that he's actually alive, was taken alive. You're right. I agree. But still, in all, ladies and gentlemen, as you're tuning into the Lion's Den,
don't forget he fell to the ground. He was not even tackled. He fell to the ground. And the lady, as she was explaining it, she actually the one captured him. Not no Secret Service, not no law enforcement, not none of them. He fell to the carpet in front of the lady's foot that was in front of the door.
So he stumbled and fumbled, and then, oh wow, okay, all right.
Yeah, you didn't hear that?
No, I didn't. I thought I heard Donald J. Trump say that Secret Service grabbed him up, yanked him up. All right, I didn't hear that at all.
You're right. That's why I played that first.
Okay, so I wasn't listening. My bad. Yeah, he was running with all that on his weaponry on his person, Miss Johnson. Yeah, he was running quite fast too. I will admit, he definitely zipped past him.
And what he wasn't shooting nothing. He was zip passing them, and the Secret Service shot the other Secret Service. That's how fast that he was going. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the video where the guys are talking about that it was a woman that took him down, and then I'm gonna show you that the woman's saying it herself.
All right, by all means, please do. That got right past me, my bad. And for those of you, while she's queuing up the video with you're listening to the Lion's Den, the conversation continues. Let's go to work, Seventh Answer. Let's go to work.
I love that they have like two random chicks holding the front door open. We're not even trying anymore. It's not even like, I just mean like they're not even like Secret Service people. It's like the girls who work here are holding the door. Even if it was the guys, it wouldn't even make it better. It's like it's just like they might as well put a doorstop in. Like, they put up a doorstop and a scarecrow. They'll this guy.
Oh, no
There are
wonder I
new
didn't
signs
hear.
this morning that attack could have been much worse. Cole Allen faces multiple charges, including the attempted assassination of President Trump. Surveillance video shows the suspect sprinting toward the ballroom. You see it right there. Court documents reveal that the suspect was not tackled by security, as we previously believed.
Make no mistake, this was an attempted assassination of the President of the United States.
2 days after suspected gunman Cole Allen allegedly sprinted towards that packed ballroom, federal prosecutors Monday unveiled 3 charges against him: 2 firearms-related charges and an attempt to assassinate the President of the United States. A federal affidavit cited a document he allegedly emailed to family just minutes before the shooting titled "Apology and Explanation," expressing intent to target administration officials prioritized from highest ranking to lowest. The Justice Department also released these images of the weapons the suspect allegedly had strapped on him the night of the White House Correspondents' Dinner: a shotgun, a pistol, and a variety of knives.
One Secret Service officer was shot in the chest, but was wearing a ballistic vest that worked. This heroic officer who was hit fired 5 times at Allen, who was not shot, but fell to the ground and was promptly arrested.
I don't know what happened. He was running. I heard bang, 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 and he fell right at my feet.
Right at your feet.
Right at my feet. I would not have had to take a step forward to touch him. I could have just bent down to touch him.
Air Force veteran Erin Thielman had just stepped out of the ballroom to call her son as the suspect made a beeline for the event. Then she sprang into action.
You said you ran downstairs.
I ran downstairs.
And what did you see about these doors?
Arrested.
I don't know what happened. He was running. I heard bang, 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 and he fell right at my feet.
Right at your feet.
Right at my feet. I would not have had to take a step forward to touch him. I could have just bent down to touch him.
Air Force veteran Erin Thielman had just stepped out of the ballroom to call her son as the suspect made a beeline for the event. Then she sprang into action.
You said you ran downstairs.
I ran downstairs.
And what did you see about these doors?
The doors were wide open, and I was very concerned because we had the line of succession for our country in the ballroom, and I didn't know what they knew.
As the Justice Department continues to investigate and parse the suspect's past, in his hometown of Torrance, California, CBS News spoke to one woman who asked that we not show her face, but said that Allen had tutored her 11-year-old daughter as recently as a couple of months ago.
He just really.
Oh, okay. You know what? Yeah, all right. Now I remember you showing that. But you know what? I was so thrown off by those 2 bozos joking and making jokes that I just zoned out and tuned everything else out. So yeah, all right. My bad. So they lied and don't want to give the woman credit for being the one that captured him, because he stumbled and tripped and she took advantage of him stumbling and fumbling. All right. All right. Thank you for the reminder. And for those of you now just tuning in and joining this broadcast, this is the Lion's Den. The conversation continues. We're having an open discussion tonight, no particular title. Right now, we're in the midst of talking about the third assassination attempt on your president, Donald John Trump, the continuing ongoing fallout and revelations about that event at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And we're going to continue on having other discussions. And again, There's an open invitation to anyone out there. If you want to come here on the panel and have this conversation with us, you're more than welcome to join us. But if not, we have other issues and other talking points that we're going to cover. But you best believe, ladies and gentlemen, you better believe, after this event, I guarantee you, something involving our privileges, I don't use the word rights, privileges under the Constitution and all other documents that make certain things legal, they're going to make illegal. Watch. I guarantee you. Let's take it away, Seventh Answer. Let's take it away.
Suspect Cole Allen and Usha Vance, JD Vance's wife, were actually in a video in a competition together in 2017, and it was in the news. What is happening? Look at this video. You're going to see both in there. This is at this tech conference where they're trying to get funding. Just look.
College student Cole Allen developed a prototype for a wheelchair emergency brake.
And there he is.
The wheelchair brakes tend to lock the wheels, but don't actually lock the chair to the ground. The idea with this
This is interesting.
is to prevent it from moving at all.
Recent
This
Aging
seems
into the
nice.
Future conference held by St. Barnabas Senior Services and the Eisner
You'll see
Foundation
Usha.
offered a test run on products that have the potential to enrich the lives of seniors.
There she is.
14 different tech startups
Y'all see
got to
her?
present.
How much of a coincidence is this? Is it just me, or does it seem like we're living in a clown world and they're all laughing in our faces allegedly? Or is this just one big coincidence and we should all shut up? Hold on. So the Trump suspect Cole Allen and Usha Vance.
What we don't know from the manifesto is, how did this radicalization process take place?
Talk to us about this manifesto, which seems to have so much information in it. What stands out to you?
I mean, it gives us a motive. I mean, I don't think we have to be shy about it. He clearly wanted to attack the president. This was a political assassination. He was critical of the president and the president's policies or the people surrounding the president. What we don't know from the manifesto is, how did this radicalization process take place? He doesn't have a criminal record. His sister says that it was relatively recent that he got involved with, at least according to her, left-wing organizations, nor does it tell us who else may have been involved with that radicalization or, in fact, the execution of what he tried to do on Saturday night.
Because that's got to be so key for Homeland Security, this idea. Is he a lone wolf, or was he part of some sort of other group which could have more of a threat out there?
Right now, the FBI and even the president have been saying that he's a lone wolf in the sense that they don't see him having any nexus to any other individuals that may have helped him with this particular attack. But in the last couple of years, I've even stopped saying lone wolf to sort of describe the phenomenon we are in. And that is one in which violence is an extension of our political differences. We hear language of violence or annihilation from the very top, from the White House to, the depths of Twitter and social media, and a lot, and all of it in between. It's that sort of permission structure that we have unleashed in this society that makes, sort of none of these really truly lone wolf incidents, because they're part of an environment that is normalizing political violence. What we don't know from the manifesto is how.
So are they trying to connect the missing scientist to the alleged White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter, Cole Thomas Allen? Well, it seems some conspiracy theorists have already started. Let's get into it. So articles are already coming out talking about him being at NASA and Caltech. There are some alleged LinkedIn profiles floating around online saying that he had a fellowship at NASA's JPL, saying that he added modeling capability for planets around several previously excluded stars. Okay, so we have 3 missing or deceased scientists from NASA's JPL. Frank, Michael, and Monica. If Cole was at NASA JPL in 2014, one of the deceased scientists would also have been there, Michael David Hicks. And Michael contributed to planetary science and Earth observation missions. And then, of course, we have Caltech's astrophysicist Carl Grailmeier, who was taken out on his own doorstep this past February. And Cole's alleged LinkedIn profile says that he graduated from Caltech as an engineer. Activities and societies under Caltech Christian Fellowship, Caltech Nerf Club, and reports are saying that the LinkedIn profile appears to be Allen's. When I tried to independently verify and find the LinkedIn profile, I could not. It's being said that the LinkedIn profile was immediately taken down. I don't know if that's true. I feel like he must have had some classmates at Caltech or people who were also doing an internship at NASA's JPL who could maybe come forward and verify if any of this is correct. So if the LinkedIn profile wasn't weird enough, it gets weirder with this post on X saying Cole Allen from a Henry Martinez. Henry Martinez allegedly wrote a NASA document in 2014, which would line him up with the time that Cole Allen was allegedly at NASA in 2014. And here is a Henry Martinez at Lockheed Martin Space Systems. It's also being alleged that he donated $25 to Kamala for president. Listen to this Australian reporter.
This man donated about 35 Australian dollars to a presidential, an election fund for Kamala Harris in 2024. Police looking for any other details that could help them in their investigation.
Here again, we have a possible connection to Caltech. If accurate, this could be Cole Allen, tied to a high school where he played volleyball and graduated in 2013. Then that would match his alleged LinkedIn profile showing a start at Caltech in September 2013. Again, everything I'm saying is being posted on X or coming out in articles. It feels like it's a little early and we're getting a lot of information at once. So I guess time will tell, but so far these are the things that are floating around online. Everything is alleged. So are they trying to connect the missing?
One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He is has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him. And he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does.
Authorities believe that Cole Allen traveled from here in Torrance all the way to Washington, D.C. by train. The 31-year-old lived here with his parents. We've spoken to many neighbors, many who seemed close with the family, close with the parents, but not many who knew Cole, except for one of his students that was here that our colleague spoke to in the middle of the night. He said he was a great guy and he was his tutor and that he helped him pass his physics exam. He worked as a part-time tutor, and according to his social media profiles, he also worked as a video games developer. He has a degree from one of the most prestigious universities in the United States, Caltech. He has a degree in engineering, and then he went on to get a master's degree in engineering from one of the Cal State universities. So he's incredibly well educated. We will find out more on Monday when he is formally charged. But as of now,
we've gone through social media accounts linked to the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting suspect, and this is what we found. Cole Thomas Allen's LinkedIn profile says he attended Caltech University, and we found this picture of him there, now removed from its website. He was working part-time for a company called C2 Education. They named him Teacher of the Month in this deleted Facebook post from 2024. LA County records show that Allen was registered as having no party preference, but receipts held by the Federal Election Commission show Allen did donate $25 to Kamala Harris's campaign. A document reportedly written by Allen before the attack was signed with a nickname. The BBC has not been able to verify that document. Multiple social media accounts linked to that nickname have been deleted, but we've used internet archiving tools to recover them. One of the most active was this account on Blue Sky. In January, it posted that the US would crash and burn until people step up for themselves. In early April, it slammed plans by some journalists to wear white pocket squares at the White House Correspondents' Dinner to promote press freedom, calling them pathetic. And the next day, said, we can and must oppose Trump. Many of the most recent comments by this account were directed at the president himself, calling Trump a villain, likely a sociopathic mob boss, and a sadist. We've sorted through hundreds of likes, posts, and shares on this account, supportive of Ukraine, opposed to the war in Iran, and most of all, deeply critical of the Trump administration. We've gone through social media accounts
So preliminary information, we do believe he was a guest here at the hotel. We have secured a room here in the hotel. And again, we'll go through the appropriate procedures to determine what was inside there. But that is secure. At this point, like I said, we believe he is the only suspect in this case. So preliminary information.
So Cole Allen and Usha Vance were at the same event in 2017. Searches for his name spiked February of this year for some reason. His manifesto was released already, but we still can't find Nancy Gunreath, or whatever you say her name is, or the Epstein files can't be fully released. As you can see here, there's a picture of him wearing an IDF shirt that was magically removed now. He was able to run into the ballroom like an anime character and not get stopped or pew-pewed. How that many Secret Service agents miss a black man, but in normal life they get them like every time?
No way. Not this time. We created it.
Nearly the entire right-wing ecosphere decided to talk about the ballroom all at the exact same time after this happened. Y'all are going to scream about getting the ballroom, which the better solution is fixing our gun laws that are stricter so that people can't get them so easily. And then he had a 60 minutes interview already set up like immediately. Kash Patel was sitting there looking lost as hell the entire time. How was somebody right next to JD Vance and Trump recording with their phone the whole time and nobody stopped them? Which he'll probably just disappear into the night after this. They'll lock him up and then he'll just disappear. Why were there images of it looked like Trump standing behind the curtain looking on at people as the commotion was still happening? With the way he was running, how did he get a round off from a shot and only just barely hurt the guy's vest? And then those other 4 shots we heard, where'd they go? Information was released on this guy quicker than the Butler, Pennsylvania situation and the Mar-a-Lago one. How did he get all the way from California to Washington, D.C. in an Amtrak with all those weapons?
Command charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly.
Breaking news at 5 a.m. Gunshots ringing out outside the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington, D.C. The suspected shooter has been identified as a man from Torrance.
Surveillance video shows him sprinting through the lobby of the Washington Hilton, moving past the Secret Service agents who drew their guns to take him down.
This morning, the investigation stretches to Southern California as law enforcement agents try to put those pieces together.
This is Eyewitness News with live.
Included FBI agents in tactical gear and armored vehicles. Now check this out. At one point, Air 7 video appears to show federal agents speaking with people who live inside of that home. Later, it appeared spotlights were focused on a second-story window and the front door. Agents finally made entry shortly before midnight. And as this was all unfolding, the mayor of Torrance spoke to us right here at the scene.
The city of Torrance is a very friendly and a safe city. You know, an incident like this, puts us on the national spotlight. And of course, we were against violence of any kind, political or racial or any type. And we're very, very happy that the first responders agencies in D.C. captured the perpetrator immediately. But, the fact that his home is here doesn't define, the city of Torrance this way. The action of one person does not represent the entire city.
Here's what we're just learning about the suspect. 31-year-old Cole Allen graduated from Caltech in 2017 and from Cal State University Dominguez Hills in 2025. That's according to representatives for both schools. According to a LinkedIn page connected to the suspect, Allen is a trained mechanical engineer who now works as a tutor. His current employer, C2 Education, named Allen Teacher of the Month just last year. Allen is in custody and is believed to have been acted alone in this. Now, we've also learned 2 firearms and multiple knives were recovered. And as we come back out here live again, fairly quiet on the street, but still a lot of activity going on inside of that home here behind us. And we do know that Allen is expected to be arraigned in court on Monday. Reporting live in Torrance, Monica de Anda, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Certainly a busy overnight and morning there in Torrance. Thank you, Monica. Again, this all started at
He tried to rush into the White House Correspondents' Dinner with a shotgun, handgun, and knives. Here's what we know about Cole Allen. Let's get into it. So the 31-year-old suspect in the White House Correspondents' shooting has been identified as Cole Thomas Allen, a Caltech graduate and educator from Torrance, California. Now, he was armed with a shotgun, a semi-automatic pistol, and multiple knives, and was a guest at the hotel where the annual White House Correspondents Association dinner was taking place. Now, he rushed a security checkpoint and exchanged gunfire with law enforcement before he was tackled to the ground. Now, Cole Allen graduated from Caltech in 2017 with a degree in mechanical engineering and earned a master's in computer science in 2025. He worked briefly as a mechanical engineer before becoming an independent video game developer and a part-time teacher at a college prep company. Now, his former classmates described him as a borderline genius and the most gentle person on the team. He had no criminal record and was not on law enforcement's radar. Now, apparently, Cole Allen told investigators that he was targeting administration officials at the dinner. And also, this so happened to be the guy in the White House's first time attending a White House Correspondents' Dinner. And then after all this happened, he was talking about why the ballroom is important. But anyway, as the chaos ensued, you could see JD Vance being swept away, Erica Kirk leaving the dinner crying, and Stephen.
It's a plain example of Operation Markenberg. She actually just reading off what she heard straight up.
Yeah, I'm keeping that, but I'm glad you're making note of it. Go ahead.
Miller and his pregnant wife moving along. Now, Cole Allen's weapons were legally purchased. He bought the shotgun in August 2025, and the handgun was something that he bought in October 2023. He traveled from LA to Washington by train and checked into the hotel before the incident. Federal prosecutors have charged him with 2 counts of using a firearm during a crime of violence and assault on a federal officer. And honestly, he will likely face more charges. He is set to be arraigned Monday in federal court.
Attention all units, this is General Savat with another transmission at ease, soldiers. So as you know, we're currently at war. We're going to go live about what I'm about to discuss.
Yes, we're back. This is the conversation continues here on the Lion's Den. And we're your hosts, the 7th Answer Lady Karima, and I am Dark Storm. Now, a lot of questions are now arising. A lot of coincidences are now arising, and there are individuals asking certain questions, but here in the Lions Den, we're going to be objective and everything else. And I'm going to hear what I'll say. Okay, all right, so coincidentally, in 2017, Cole Thomas Allen was at a event that JD Vance's wife, happened to attend. Okay, we can look at that as a coincidence, a one-off, all right? But now other events are emerging where he was seen here and there. But I'm going to remind some of you all, okay? Now, some of you may not have been born at the time, or you may have been born when this event took place. This goes back to 1994, going into 1995, when you had Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols, who were the first individuals to manifest before the World Trade Center was bombed in the first time and second time. The Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, with 168 people, Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols had been seen at a compound the United States government had attacked, known as the Branch Davidian, wherein David Koresh and a host of other followers were killed by the government because they supposedly fired on some DEA agents. My point is, there were plenty of videos showing Mr. McVeigh and Terry Nichols at different events and different surroundings before they bombed the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building, killing 168 people. So in this particular case with Mr. David Allen, Cole Thomas Allen, all right, he was seen at an event where the former second lady, for lack of a better description, J.D. Vance's wife, was in attendance, and other footage comes up showing him here and there at certain other events of the missing some of the missing scientists or murdered scientists, which can now be piecing together why he made this attack on the president and the attempt on the lives of others in the administration. But, the point that we're raising here is that, listen, there are a lot of ticking time bombs. And when I say time bombs, I mean in the form of people. All right, again, for this young man who's quite accomplished and very inventive to snap, if you will, and put his own life at risk, penetrate a couple of checkpoints, firing shots with the intent to get at the president and anyone else in his way at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, that speaks volumes as to where we're at and why here, you've seen us on previous episodes saying, look, we're living in an age, and these last 30 years in particular, where it's clear you better be careful how you talk to people and how you treat people, because see, a lot of people are on edge. They've lost everything, or they're losing everything. And the last thing they need is for you to want to be Joe or Josephine idiot and press them and push their buttons. Because see, again, at the wrong time, to the wrong soul, you speak abusively, you could wind up getting yourself seriously hurt. So we have given you thus far 2 hours of coverage on this issue concerning the attempt on the third assassination attempt on Donald John Trump. We have seen some of his reaction, very immature reaction, I'm going to add. And we hope that this now makes you more aware. When you're out in the general public, you can't walk with fear, but just be more aware of your environment and surroundings, people. There are a lot of dangerous people out here, and they're ordinary citizens who are tired. And the worst kind of person you can come across is that individual, male or female, who no longer has anything to lose, or they feel that way. All right. So we have an open conversation, open discussion as well. But this has been a particular subject that has taken the bulk of our time. And as we roll into our final hour, we thank you for allowing us to come into your mind, soul, and cipher. And as always, when you tune to the Lion's Den, you're going to get the frequently accurate, correct truths. The facts, y'all. Nothing but the facts. Our aim, mission, and purpose. Whenever we come through and you allow us to come into your homes or wherever you may be listening to us at, is to inspire you spiritually, intellectually, and emotionally to get up off your duffs, your butts, and check things out for yourself. We hope that we always bring you insight to really intrinsically get up off your behinds and investigate and check things out for yourself. Now, granted, you know, in the years that we've been doing this for you and yours, we always speak responsibly. There's not an episode that any of you can go and find where I've been allowed to speak irresponsibly. And the operative words are allowed to speak, because see, the seventh answer, she's on the case like Richard Pryor back when he was Sharp-Eyed Washington. And therefore, she crosses the T's and dots the I's, and she checks everything out before we go on the air. And whatever I'm wrong on, she's been quick to make sure we bring forth the integrity to check and correct. So that way, when you listen to us, the word is absolute bond. The words we speak are absolute bond. Guaranteed and verified. That's the listening truthality, experiment, and experience you always get whenever you tune into the Lion's Den and all the other varying programs besides just the conversation continues. There are other various programs and talk shows that come through sporadically or back to back, depending on the content creators' spirits to come through, that the Lion's Den offers, as variety indeed is the spice of life. All right? There's no dogmatic or autocratic energies put forth here. As the seventh answer, Lady Karima is a liberated moderator. If you come through with information that's relevant, intelligent, you will be given your chance to speak, talk, and educate on this great social media platform called the Lion's Den. The light of all lights. And always ready to bring illumination on every issue that needs revelation. All right? Let me see if anyone's talking right now. No, the last comment was Miss Tawana. But we, again, thank you for allowing us to come into your mind, soul, and cipher. So it's an open discussion. And as you can see, we're talking about the third assassination attempt on Donald John Trump. We're going to continue on. You know, there are other videos and other talking points that I put forth that she can, the seventh answer, she can now pick at random. Because each one can be a talking point in the discussion till the absolute end of the program. But we're going to continue on, apparently. And let's see what this voice of insight, hindsight, and foresight brings to us. Go to work, seventh answer.
Of him saying why he did this and a little bit more. And before I go too far into it, let's just pull that right on up. This is an article from New York Post, and you see what it says here. Read White House Correspondents Dinner Gunman Cole Allen's full anti-Trump manifesto. And I will link to this entire thing in the box, but I'm going to get straight into it, and we're going to break it down piece by piece. He says, hello, everybody. So I may have given a lot of people a surprise today. let me start off by apologizing to everyone whose trust I abused. I apologize to my parents for saying I had an interview without specifying it was for Most Wanted. Now, I'm gonna pause at certain points to just give you something related to this in context. Now, Cole Thomas Allen, 31 years old, lived with his parents out there in California. So when he says to his parents, I'm going for an interview, oh, it's because you ain't been working, you've been at the crib, although you have a degree in mechanical engineering and you're a computer scientist. But anyway, I apologize to my colleagues and students for saying I had a personal emergency. By the time anyone reads this, I probably most certainly do need to go to the ER, but can hardly call that not a self-inflicted status. Well, luckily for you, you don't need to really go to the ER. You didn't get shot. So, you know, fortunately, unfortunately, whatever, you didn't get shot. But to go back to his colleagues and students, what he did for work, but he was a part-time tutor and a substitute teacher. So again, you're I can tell right away that you are an underperformer in life, and you might be mad about that, and that's probably why you did what you did, but I digress. I apologize to all the people I traveled next to, all the workers who handled my luggage, and all the other non-targeted people at the hotel who I put in danger simply by being near. I apologize to everyone who was abused and or murdered before this, to all those who suffered before I was able to attempt this, to all who may suffer still after, regardless of my success or failure. Now, what he is referring to here, in my opinion, is what he thinks Trump and the administration have done. Because you know how they say on the news, Trump is this, Trump is that. And I think he'll explain a little bit more in the manifesto as we continue. And of course, that's him from a picture in December 2024, where he was voted Teacher of the Month out there in Torrance. Let's continue. I don't expect forgiveness, but if I could have seen any other way to get this close, I would have taken it. Again, my sincere apologies. On to why I did any of this. I'm a citizen of the United States of America. What my representatives do reflects on me. And that's him when he graduated. I believe this might have been in 2017. Nah, class of 2025. So he just graduated. Okay. At 30 years old, but you this big brain. Okay. Anyway, was that your master's? You only have a bachelor's, right? Anyway, I continue. And I am no longer willing to permit a traitor to coat my hands with his crime. So we know this is about President Trump. You threw your whole life away. You threw all that big brain, 145 IQ away. Not 145. You threw that 131 IQ away all over the orange man. Really? Anyway, well, to be completely honest, I was no longer willing a long time ago, but this is the first opportunity I've had to do something about it. Okay. While I'm discussing this, I'll also go over my expected rules of engagement, probably in a terrible format, but I'm not military. So too bad, little boy, little kid, like you stuck in perpetual adolescence, like you're 12 years old still at 31 years old. I see who you are, bro. And I hope you see this because I see who you are. You thought you were going to write this. You thought you were going to do that and get a round of applause. But really, we're going to go through this and pick you apart piece by piece. Anyway, the things I'm saying to you right now, your parents didn't say it to you. And your parents were described as so nice and loving and everybody loved them. They did not give you any discipline, let you do whatever you want because you were smart. But without discipline, that intelligence means nothing. Administration officials, not including Mr. Patel, they are targets prioritized from highest ranking to lowest. Now, I got two things. When you say highest ranking, obviously you're talking about Trump. This is all about Trump so far. Trump derangement syndrome. You got it bad. You about to go to the penitentiary for the rest of your life because of TDS. That's crazy. That's a terminal case of TDS. But anyway, why did you exclude Kash Patel? Is it because you've been watching the news a lot lately? Are you a news addict? Are you watching MSNBC a lot? What's going on here? Secret Service. They are targets only if necessary and to be incapacitated non-lethally if possible. AKA, I hope they're wearing body armor because some of their masks with shotguns messes people up who aren't. Hotel security, not targets, if at all possible, aka unless they shoot at me. Capitol Police, same as hotel security. National Guard, same as hotel security. Hotel employees, not targets at all. Guests, not targets at all. In order to minimize casualties, I will also be using buckshot rather than slugs, less penetration through walls. Because like I say, he did have a shotgun. So when you see in the long gun, that's a shotgun. It's not a rifle. He had a shotgun. He also had a handgun or two, and he had several knives. So maybe the plan was, okay, if the shotgun breaks down, if my regular gun breaks down, I'm gonna have some knives, like a video game, right? And by the way, he was a video game developer for a while as well, after he did not make it as a mechanical engineer for a year, but we get to that a little bit later. I would still go through most everyone here to get to the targets if it were absolutely necessary, on the basis that most people choose to attend a speech by a trader and are thus complicit, but I really hope it doesn't come to that. That's crazy. Anyway, but those two objections. Objection number one, as a Christian, he's Christian. Okay, as a Christian, you should turn the other cheek. Rebuttal, turning the other cheek is for when you yourself are oppressed. I'm not the person in the detention camp. I'm not the fisherman executed without trial. I'm not a school kid blown up or a child starved or a teenage girl abused by the many criminals in this administration. Turning the other cheek when someone else is oppressed is not Christian behavior. It is complicity in the oppressor's crimes. Again, you are like a child. You're easily influenced by things you see on television. It's like you watch a movie and think it's real. That's you right now. You watching television, MSNBC, you can't tell when you're being spun. You can't tell whether the information is false or it's inflammatory. You don't understand the difference between that because you are like a child mentally. Although you have God-given IQ, you don't have the life experience or the discipline to be able to utilize it properly. It's a waste. You are a waste. You are a failure, and that's why you did this. And for real, this wouldn't even be a thing we're talking about if we had the White House ballroom, but I digress. Objection number two, this is not a convenient time for you to do this. Rebuttal, I need whoever thinks this way, take a couple of minutes and realize that the world isn't about them. Do you think that when I see someone or abused, I should walk on by because it would be inconvenient for people who aren't the victim? This was the best timing and chance of success I could come up with. Now, did you see anybody get abused? Did you see anybody get? But you saw them hit that boat out there in the water. You thought it was a fisherman. Who told you that? The TV, MS-13 DNC, now known as MSNOW. You just believe whatever you see on Blue Sky and social media and stuff like that, right? Objection number three, you didn't get them all. Rebuttal, got to start somewhere. Objection four, as a half black, half white person, you shouldn't be the one doing this. Who says that? That's your own insecurity peeking out. I see you. Rebuttal, I don't see anyone else picking up the slack. Objection five, yield unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Rebuttal, United States of America are ruled by law. And that's interesting. I saw that, and I'm going to ask y'all if you think that this is something that he did on purpose, using improper grammar right here, because when you're talking about grammar rules, the using the word are is what you do after something that is plural, like states as a plural thing. It should be the United States of America is ruled by law. That is grammatically correct because the USA is a singular entity. It's one thing, the United States of America. It's not, you have individual states, yes, but we're all under one country. Anyway, the USA is ruled by law, not by anyone or several people. Insofar as representatives and judges do not follow the law, no one is required to yield them anything so unlawfully ordered. You think you understand the way society works? You think that your view of how the world is the way that it should be, but it's not. And you're mad about that. And that's part of the reason why you do what you do, and you're not really who you should be because the world does not work in the way you want it to work. He continues, I will also like to extend my appreciation to a great many people since I will not be likely to be able to talk with them again unless Secret Service is astoundingly incompetent. Okay. And we're going to get to that in a minute. They're going to say they were incompetent. Thank you to my family, both personal and church, for your love over these 31 years. Thank you to my friends for your companionship over many years. Thank you to my colleagues over many jobs for your positivity and professionalism. Thank you to my students for your enthusiasm and love of learning.
To start a podcast with Riverside, all you need is a concept.
Thank you to the many acquaintances I've met in person and online, a troon, online a lot, playing video games, not having real world experiences. For short interactions and long-term relationships, for your perspectives and inspiration. Thank you all for everything. Sincerely, Cole, Code Force, that's your online name, right? That's your tag, right? That's your gamer tag. Code Force, Friendly Federal Assassin, Allen. P.S. Okay, now that all the sappy stuff is done, what the H is Secret Service doing? Sorry, going to rant a bit here and drop the formal tone. Like I expected security cameras at every bend, bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out the wazoo. What I got, who knows? Maybe they're pranking me, is nothing. No dang security, not in transport, not in the hotel, not in the event. Like the one thing that I immediately noticed walking into the hotel is a sense of arrogance. I walk in with multiple weapons, not a single person there considers possibility that I could be a threat. The security at the event is all outside, focused on protesters and current arrivals, because apparently no one thought about what happens if someone checks in the day before. Like, this level of incompetence is insane, and I very sincerely hope it's corrected by the time this country gets actually competent leadership again. Now, you know what's funny about that? You, Mr. Cole Thomas Allen, think this administration is ruled by fashion.
All right, that gentleman was a little caustic in his observations, but we dare to give you differing points of views. But, you know, that was his caustic conclusion about Mr. Allen. I think that Mr. Allen was very much accomplished education-wise, and he fell short with this clearly devolving behavior where he finally manifested it into trying to assassinate the president. But this gentleman thinks that he's an underachiever, that he lived with his parents. So listen, all that to the side. What I'm looking at and what I'm concerned with, again, all these ticking time bombs. And Jay Snake, welcome, brother. What's going on? How you been? Long time no see. And bottom line is, we have to be very careful when we are out and about in this general public now. Again, we always advise you here. Be careful how you talk to people, because see, again, there are a lot of people out here who are in need of some form of psychotherapy, who are walking around undiagnosed. Yeah, that mental illness thing is real. Trust me, I know. But the bottom line is, look, it's just, this is just the beginning. It's going to get worse. I hate to say it, but again, this administration, the way they operate, what they're doing, it's only going to get worse. Now, for those of us who Bible believers and prophetic believers, the scripture said, the Bible scripture that is, said that in these last days and times, at the mark and end of this particular empire, if you believe the written words, that with violence and great strife and all types of other chaos and mass confusion, this society will go down. Now, some of you out there, you may be optimistic, or whatever your system of belief may be. A great many of you out there, you know, and you see something is dreadfully wrong. And therefore, what we dare to do is just talk about it, give it to you straight, no chaser. And you either believe it or you don't. There's no judgment here. There is no forcing our observations and beliefs and facts on you. We give you the sources on where we come from, what we've researched, and in the which helps us draw the conclusions that we draw week to week, month to month, year to year, with all our varying presentations here on The Conversation Continues, talking about what's on your mind. But the bulk of our time has been spent discussing, like I said, the third assassination attempt on the president of these United States. And again, it's very concerning that we have an administration that is bringing about this kind of action or reaction in we the people. You know, they say that when a old Bible proverb says that when a righteous man or woman or righteous administration is in rulership, that people rejoice. They give great thanks. But when the wicked or when evil bears rule, the people mourn. Well, there are a lot of unhappy campers, especially of the MAGA ilk, that are out here. So let's continue as the conversation continues. We have yet again, some earth-shattering revelations and videos that the seventh answer finds. So let's go to work, y'all. Let's go to work. Take it away, seventh answer.
Oh my God, Black History Month just started and he doesn't know how to fucking act. Where the hell is he? Oh my God, you are not royalty!
Shut your bitch ass up, peasants! This is my month to shine!
Dude, you're gonna scare the neighbors!
Fuck those mayonnaise menaces! Peasants!
Oh my God, Black History Month just...
Hey there. I'm going to play you a clip of a European American man who's asking a question, and I'm going to answer it as soon as you get back. I'll see you in 52 seconds.
The Black community en masse has completely withdrawn. They fought, they campaigned, they warned us, and we chose the orange man anyway, and they're out. The white community, on the other hand, is fighting, those of us who aren't under Trump's spell. And there is this real sentiment that if we can just get Trump out of the way, then we can all get back to normal. But the thing is, that's not what God is doing. And I'm not a nihilist, but we're missing the point. The point is this white supremacist system has wreaked enough havoc, enough, and God is judging it. And the fact that we are clinging so hard to it makes me wonder, what does the Black community see that we don't, that's allowing them to totally let go?
We see you. We see you. And this man is right. The entire time, the Black community, we have been working in this country, trying to make this place a better place to live. We have been warning you. We've warned you many times that if you did not course correct, we would all end up right here in this position right now. And you've ignored the warning. You ignored the warning because in this America, you're still winning. That's why this European American man talks about wanting things to go back to normal. Going back to normal is not good for my people. And we see you wish for something that still causes our community harm. Yes, we are going to let it go because we see you. I see this man speaking in such a way, choosing his words wisely as to not offend your fragile whiteness, saying things like under the spell of Donald Trump. Let's be clear. Donald Trump did not create this America. This America created Donald Trump. White supremacy, your God is not judging white supremacy. Your God is judging you. White supremacy is not some rogue demon that steals your soul like a thief in the night. White supremacy is a living, breathing entity that resides inside of you. And every single time you've benefited from it, it has been to the detriment of my people. We have fought chattel slavery, your New Deal, Jim Crow, racial profiling, mass incarceration, redlining, you name it, we have fought it. And you're still here wishing that things would go back to normal. Go back to normal for who? For you. You have not changed your way of thinking. You have not changed your way of being. You have not changed your way of voting. You have not changed at all, and you think you're working. You're not fucking working. You're hosting parades and calling them protests. Yes, we see you. We always have seen you. And we're sick of watching this bucket of what the fuck destroy our lives. So, now you know. You know exactly what we see that you refuse to see.
Yeah, as we switch gears and change gears and everything, like I said, there are so many people out there worrying about our delineation and why we're walking away. Look, this is a spiritual matter, indeed. So what the world is witnessing now is foundational Black America, or the tribe of Judah, the real children of Israel. What we're doing is now saying, look, we're tired of everybody out here. If you want to know what's happening we're taking back our rightful place in this world. And though there are agents out there attacking us, coming for us, look, the God of Israel, whether you believe him or not, as this young lady just said, look, the change and the paradigm is in full effect. And there's a great many of us, we're not interested in integration. We're not interested in waiting another 400 years for white America or any form of America to decide if they're going to do right by us and everything. We're going to take it now. That's what's happening. And the more some of you try to push this white supremacist, that's why a great many of you are finding out. With a lot of backlash, black backlash, as I call it. Videos showing black folks kicking off in people's butts. Because all that whipping and chaining and yasaba, all that's over with. No more days like that. And if you don't leave us alone, we're going to make you leave us alone. That's what's happening. That's why. Okay? We tired of your bankrupt God who loved everybody, but he seemed to hate us because he never around. When you bombing, murdering, killing us, the only time this God who loved everybody ever want to show his face is when you say he wants you to forgive us, forgive you for your bullshit. I don't mean to cuss, but we're at the time where I can do that a little bit. That's what's happening, white America. If you want to know why it is what it is. No, we don't want things to go back to normal. As a matter of fact, we just had a senator out of Mississippi, Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell is Mississippi. Is he Mississippi or Michigan? Well, either one. Mitch McConnell, as we call him, the turtle, talking about he wants it where he can bring back slavery. See, when you have that coming out of a lot of white representatives' mouths, that's why we're walking away. We tired of all that now. It's like being a man or a woman who's in a bad relationship where they're doing all the giving and their respective partner is just taking and sucking the life out of them. After a while, you get tired of it. Look, no matter how beautiful and kind-hearted a person may be, he or she will get tired of those who don't appreciate them and will cut off all rights and privileges you enjoyed in their generosity. And so for every faction of America out here right now, wondering why a great many black Americans are no longer interested in being bothered, we tired of the Ashley Gonzalez's and others, Latino community dwellers coming with their anti-black energy. We're past tired. All your sundown towns and all these out of control white criminals disguised as police officers still gunning us down. We're tired of the Dylan Roofs. and all the other white mass killers of black folk. We tired of it. What you think was going to wind up happening? This is not no mystery. We're not here to be your beast of burden or be under your foot forever. So now that our cursed state, if you will, if you're a Bible believer and you believe that we're the children of Israel, that curse is now being lifted. It can't be lifted fast enough for me, but we're on parole right now. And we're about to be absolutely exonerated. So a great many of us, we're taking it now. We're taking back who we are. And we can show you better than we can tell you. And what's also happening is we're not going to be forced by nobody. We don't care. You can poison all the food. You can make all these maneuvers you make. But just like ancient Egypt got destroyed and crushed underfoot, yeah, we know the leaders, your Peter Thiels, your Elon Musk, your Jeff Bezos, your Bill Gates, and there. Look, you can do what you want to your heart's content. The one true God, the God of all natures, he loves, he hates, he blesses, he curses. Well, he cursing your ass. Now, that's what's happening. I'm going to cut loose for a hot second. You know, if you have children listening, put your hand over their ears for a hot second. Not that I'm cussing for the sake of cussing. Matter of fact, I will discontinue using spicy language. And I will go into my Steve Urkel and Carlton Banks form of cussing. But what it is that we are tired of the balderdash. We are tired of the poppycock. We are tired of all of the rigmarole that you, a great many of you white supremacist believers, we're tired of you. And we're tired of everybody else who has been attaching themselves to us and want to join the white supremacist gang and come against us. We're tired of you too. We're tired of all you Arabs coming into our neighborhood, Chinese, Japanese, who are East Indian, taking the government money, talking about you coming over here with no money and opening. But no, we know you're being funded by the government, and you know it too. We're tired of the games you playing, coming up in here, opening businesses in our neighborhoods. That's disrespectful. That's why a great many of us are now not patronizing you. Enough is enough. It's past enough. So this is not no mystery science 2000 on why we're doing what we're doing. We're in the midst of we're divorcing America. All right? We're tired of you lying on us at every turn. Oh, well, Black America, you guys make up 13% of the population, but you commit the majority of the crime, which is a bald-faced lie. We tired of that. We tired of your censorship. Every time we get a meeting or anything going on and you don't like the fact that we're uncovering your lies and we bring honesty to the media, you want to block algorithms, you want to censor. We tired of all that. That's why we are walking away and going our own way. And you got to move now. Why? Because our God, the one true God. I know so many people have different variations of calling them, but it's more his true name, Yahweh. The Ayah, the Ahaya, He's now requiring us. That's what's happening. And I know some of you out there in the community may not be Christ believers. But if indeed there's going to be another Exodus, well, we're in that time now. And this delineation, this walking away, is a manifestation of a great many of us saying, enough is past enough. No, we're not your niggers. We are not your hired dogs and your guinea pigs. We are now tired. Like the young lady said, we see you for who and what you are. You don't want to give us reparations. You want to dodge, spin, and parry all your irresponsibilities, white America. And for all the good white folk out there, we're not talking about you, but you're not the ones in rulership. You're not the ones in power. But we're talking to all the rough house out there who are determined, still want to mistreat us, still thinking that we are going to be accursed forever. No. That's over with. So that's what's happening. To put it to you in brass tacks terms. And you can do all your planning. You can do all of your attempted undermining. It's not going to work. Not on those of us who have the good sense to understand who and what we're dealing with and who we are. And like I said in the opening, to all the haters out there, how you feel about us is how we feel about you. This is why. We are people who have been robbed and spoiled for a very long time. And this country does not want to pay its debt. You think we're going to sit up here and continue to see Democrat, Republican, or otherwise giving money to everybody but us? You think we're going to continue to vote in your system? That's the problem. Your system. You don't think that we're tired of you locking up our young men and women? Okay, I understand if we commit crime, you got to do the time. But all this disparity where you give your white children and white sons and daughters breaks and lesser sentences and all kinds of other little get out of jail free cards while throwing the book at us. No, we're not. Look, we're tired of it. We're tired of these half-assed, half-baked job Negro leaders that you've paid to undermine us and lead us to nowhere. We're tired of that too. And that's why they're becoming irrelevant. And I'll name names. The Al Sharptons. We're talking about the Roland Martin and all the other jive clowns. The Al Greens, all of you. We're tired of you. That's why we're walking away. And I got to give credit where credit is due. Obviously, Kamala Harris, she's listening to us. To black media. I want you to be careful, Miss Harris, though. I heard you lately talking about, hey, yo, if you want to get out here and vote, make your vote transactional. Don't be afraid to ask what you want. Negotiate. I peeped how Al Sharpton shut you down all quick and fast. Now, that's to come out, Miss Harris. I like this version of you. That's right. Break out your shell and be who you are. That's right. We know you're listening. Get a better team of advisors. Come hire me in the Seventh Answer, and we'll be glad to help you. That's right. We got plenty of negotiations. And some tell me you can get it done. The way the way Scrawny Al Sharpton shut you down just recently, let me know. Oh, we don't want you talking like that. But anyway, I appreciate you, Miss Harris. And there are others in the black media spectrum. We like that particular version of you. And we're going to go for it. We're going to negotiate, and we coming for it. And to the Democrats, if you don't want to rock with it, fine. Don't. We don't need you like you don't need us. But you know what? You do need us. More than you know. Even Republicans and this whole country needs us. But our time now to reemerge and be the world power that we once were is in full effect. That's what's happening. Whether you like it or not, or want to deal with it or not, it don't matter. It doesn't. Because we cannot go on, and we are not going to go on like this. For a long time, you've been dealing with the fishermen, and the fisherwomen of our people, trying to hope, trying to negotiate, trying to appeal to your humanity. But see, it's clear cut. There's some of you're not human. Gunning us down, shooting us down, unarmed. All these vicious attacks. You aren't human. Again, watching everybody get money and compensation, and then all we get is told to wait or a commission or a study. No more days like that. And we're gonna continue to walk away. We're in divorce. There is no contest. We don't want nothing now. All we want is our freedom. And to be left alone. And if you don't want to leave us alone, then okay, it's gonna be a problem. Because now the hunters are now coming forth. And you've been trying for a long time to keep that aspect of us suppressed. But no, you can't suppress what you didn't create. You can't destroy what you didn't create. You can't politicize what you did not create. And no matter what moves you make, we are taking our rightful place. The operative words, taking our rightful place now. So all this anti-Black American energy that a great many of you out there are coming with, you can shove it. It's just that simple. Some of you may not like what I'm saying, but yo, take it how it's being said. Straight up and in your face. And how you feel about us is how we feel about you now. We're not going to beg. See, the remainder of Generation X, Millennial, and Generation Z, are we not interested in marching and begging and singing tired, we shall overcome, or chanting no justice, no peace, and we're not getting no justice but we're giving you peace. See, now the hunters are now coming into full play now. And you would have been better off dealing with the fishers. We're being moved out the way now. And the hunters are now in full effect. So now, as we now come down to the last 10 minutes of this high-powered show, we want to thank you for allowing us to come into your mind, soul, and cipher. There were some other talking points that I want to go into, and probably will do so on another open forum, an open mic. We might just do another. I might just do another open forum, But the discussion of the attempted assassination of Donald J. Trump, that took more of a priority tonight. For those of you out there who may have virgin ears, or I know you have virgin ears, I'm sorry about cutting loose and losing my cool for a hot second. I always strive to be emotionally detached in making these presentations, but there's certain things that get the better of me. But, I got it back under control, and going forward, I will use my inner Carlton Banks and Steve Urkel to bring forth colorful language, but in a much more proper setting. And see, and for all you dastardly, out of control, demons walking with earthly feet, look, your time is up. And spiritual justice, the long arms of the Lord, and He gonna use His enforcer, His Son Christ. I know some of you, to all my Old Testament out there, I know you're gonna bristle when I say that, but it has to be said. Well, if indeed the biblical prophecies are true, we're seeing the manifestation of that, but it's not coming fast enough, like I said, for my taste. But still, things are happening. And therefore, we here on the Lion's Den are letting you know, the American government, and to all other governments out here, the God of the children of Israel, who we are, is saying, let my people go, that we may serve Him. And if you don't want to let us go, you want to harden your heart, you want to be an Ashley Gomez, or whatever her damn name is. Oh, look at this here. You brought her up. You know what? Well, let's extend a few more minutes. And this is our girl here, Ashley Gomez, or Gonzalez, whatever her goddamn last name is. Forget her gosh darn last name is. Okay, run the video, Seventh Dancer. I'll let y'all listen to this.
The amount of times that I will always and forever say that I fucking hate niggers. Oh my god, I fucking hate niggers. Like, I hate y'all. Like, I just feel really bad. I just feel really bad that I was just mentioned and it's just so toxic, and I'm just so sorry about that. That is, as you can see, that's not my content. That wasn't my content back then. And I don't know, I just feel really bad. And I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings.
It may be that she may be given a out for resignation instead of being fired. Everybody seen that egregious video that she made, speaking of the Black community. One, she does not speak for the Hispanic community. Two, you would not speak about my community in that manner and hold that badge. You think that, one, that we're going to allow you to do that in our city. I bought the belt of justice today because we want to let the leadership know in HPD that you're not going to go behind doing back alley deals. You're going to draw a line in the sand today. Because let's be clear, that badge that she had on her comes from us, the community. That's who it comes from. And so you would not use that badge to weaponize us. It's what you're not going to do. So with that being said, we are here to let them know that the community is watching, because this is how road cops are recycled, by letting them resign knowing that they displayed misconduct or some type of behavior that is.
Yeah, to Ashley Gonzalez, look, mama, if you were in another profession, I wouldn't forgive you. Keep that apology, keep it, okay? All right? But the fact that you work for the Houston Police Department, you're a police officer. That means those sentiments, I guarantee you, if we look at her arrest record, the number of arrests she's made, I'm guaranteeing you, 9 times out of 10, a lot of those probably deal with black arrestees, if I'm saying it correctly. You can keep that apology. You meant everything you said. Although I'm speculating that it goes a little deeper than what you're going to care to share. All right? But the fact that you hold certifications in law enforcement, and there have been a lot of Latino officers on some BS coming against black people and beating up on us and everything else. You are just, how you say, the tip of a very deep iceberg that now got to be broken up. And this is what's happening. So, in closing, to Ashley Gonzalez and those who think like her, listen, it's best you keep your mouth shut. It's best you keep your opinions to yourself. Like I said, freedom of speech, but responsible speech. And when you're stupid, it's best you contain your stupidity. Like the Bible says, Proverbs 13:3, he or she that keepeth their mouth, keepeth their life. And that's not just talking about you're possibly being hurt or beat up on or killed. No, it's talking about your career, your livelihood, all that. Because you're a police officer, you can't apologize your way out of this one. You got to go. It's just that simple. And so in closing, we hope that you've enjoyed this high-powered experiment and experience on this great social media platform and content known as The Lion's Den. The segment titled, The Conversation Continues, talking about what's on your mind. As always, the seventh answer, Lady Karima and myself, we give our honor to the Lord in Christ, from whom all positive thoughts flow. We hope, again, that you've enjoyed this presentation and conversation. I'm sorry that some of y'all didn't come through and talk with us directly. We would have liked that. But still, for those in the comment section, Tawana Johnson, you were exceptional tonight. As always, love your points of views. Salah Ben Yah holding it down. All y'all, Jay Snake, everybody who came through just to say hi. Thank you. And we hope that you out there in Lions Den land will always take it upon yourself to check things out for yourself. We can't stress that enough, because see, at the start and end of every day, it's going to be your spiritual, intellectual, and emotional responsibility to make sure that whatever you hear from a media standpoint, even here on the Lions Den, you check it out for yourself. We want you to. See, we're not corporate owned. We don't have anyone breathing down our backs because we haven't sold out. And that's SOULED, which makes it so much easier for us to come here and be so independent, so bold, daring, and saying what should be said and how it should be said. We're in the struggle like everybody else. So with that being said, and the credits are rolling, we give an honor to my mentor and one-time beautiful friend, known in life whose non-spiritual essence, the third answer, James Mtume. I want to dedicate this episode to a beautiful friend of mine whose non-spiritual essence, a Comanche Indian, Mr. George T. Burton, who I knew as Comanche. I dedicate this particular episode to his beautiful memory, and to the Burton family. I extend my condolences to you. And don't despair, you all. The seventh answer, and I shall return. We may do another open forum and discussion. And in the spirit of Don Cornelius, as always, on the Hebrew tip, I say, Shalom, peace, Ahab, love, and Napash. Protect and watch over your and those you love's souls. And we are up out of here, y'all. Take us out, seventh answer.